Hello everyone. Can I get an indication in the chat whether you can hear my voice, please? Is my voice audible? Great, thanks. For some reason, Steam decided to remove the Steam Next Fest status of this first stream, so it's not appearing on the streaming now list broadcast schedule of the next fest, which is a pity. The second one is still on there, so I don't know why this happened. It's showing as a normal broadcast, so people would have to go into the game's page to find another rock on the floor. People would have to go into the game's page to find the actual streaming event. But let's continue. I'm going to record this and use it again for some streaming of events while this next fest is ongoing as well. Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to World Turtles, and thanks for joining the stream. My name is Gideon, and although I am the solo developer, the only person working on the code of the game, it doesn't feel right to call myself the solo developer. For a start, I wouldn't have attempted this were it not for Catapult Coding's great Hexmap tutorial, which started it all. Then there's the various assets and tutorials, commercial commons music that I'm using, and the two guys helping me with some modeling in Blender and some sound, which is managed in Wise. So it's not just me doing all of this. Now, I first came across Unity in February of 2019, and I was amazed to find that software like this, including all the add-ons and packages, was so readily available. I started playing around with it as a nerdy hobby until one day World Turtles started taking shape. However, its real starting point was actually much earlier than that, but maybe I can go into that into more detail a bit later. Let's look at the game. Feel free to ask some questions. If I don't answer it right away, I'll try to get to as many of them as we progress through the game. So we start off with a founder's hex with 6 builders and 6 idle meeps. The builders are ready to construct buildings for you. They've already constructed the road, and the actions or the tasks for the Founders Hex is locked in the demo still. This will become available later on as you progress, and if you progress, where you could upgrade the Founders Hex, get rid of the temporary shelters, maybe put in some monuments and so on to make it look better. But most of the action and the tasks will be run through the buildings. So let's get some buildings so that we can see how that works. So the map is procedurally generated. The one we ended up here, there's some trees. There's only one rock I see here, but I do expect there to be rocks in this higher elevation areas. So let's start with some resource buildings. Woodcutter's cabin. We place it next to the trees here. We could place a stonemason's cabin here, but let's first make sure that there is actually more rocks, more stone available in that area. For that, we place down our Wanderer's cabin. You'll see that we can actually cancel construction if it hasn't started yet. So let's say we cancel that. yeah, I'll make up my mind. Let's say we want to put it a bit more to that side.
Too many of those.
Okay, while we're waiting, let's have a quick look at the construction process. Here you can see they're already busy. But buildings are actually not handled as one big model. They lie on a floor plan, and each of the separate parts of this building is handled separately. So you've got the main building, which takes up two hexes, and you've got two outbuildings or storage areas that takes up a hex each, and they don't all need to lie on flat land. Of course, the house itself needs to, the two hexes that it lies on needs to be on the same level and flattened, but then the storage areas can be, I'm just going to pause this quickly. The storage areas can be one or two levels higher or lower than the rest of the floor plan. Okay, so where you see the yellow highlights is where you'll have to adjust the elevation a little bit, up or down by normally one level for the building to fit in there. So if you've got an area like this, there's 4 yellow X's, which mean the construction is going to take a lot longer because of the flattening of the ground that is required. You could force a certain direction. So as you move around, I've implemented a recursive method that looks for the best rotation that needs the least amount of work to build the building, but you can override it by holding in control and then moving towards the edges of the hex to decide on a rotation. So you'll see there that it needs 3, it's got 3 yellow hexes, and when you take the optimal, it's got 2 yellow hexes. Okay, so in the meantime, our woodcutter's cabin has been constructed, and there are 2 meeps heading that way. The one is already on the way. There she comes. So you can keep an eye on them, you can center the camera on them, and you can actually also have a fly cam follow them as they move around by just right clicking on their portrait icons.
You fall down.
Okay, so she's ready. She's got someone to help her, and they're off chopping wood. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna speed up the game a bit. Here we've got the Wanderer's cabin under construction. We want to see whether there's any rocks in this area here. So let's just give them a little bit of time to construct that. You'll see here that we've got units called joiners, and they this one now disappeared when I paused. I think that's something to do with the animation. I think it will reappear soon. They will join as you get more capacity. You'll see in the top here you've got capacity for order, appeal, food capacity or supply, and then dwellings or houses for the units. And as the houses get built, you have more capacity, and these meeps will join you from the surrounding areas.
This building's finished.
Since you now completed another building, there's 2 available capacity, and the meeps will then join you again from somewhere around the ear. You'll see 2 meeps running in. Okay, so we found some more rocks here, so it will be a good idea to place our stonemason there,
Quickly or properly.
and they can also start getting to work. You'll notice there are rocks there, and there's also a resource called shards or shard heaps. Now this is basically smaller pieces of harder and sharper rock that your meeps use at the start as tools. So this is your startup tools, and
Let's go, boy.
you do what you can with them, but later you'll upgrade your tools and your meeps will become more efficient, taking less time to do their work, etc. Okay, so our Wanderer's cabin, we can tell them where to explore. So let's say we want to know more about this area here. This river is actually flowing all the way through here, so I want to see where it goes here. It could actually block off our path to this area, so that our meeps cannot cross rivers at this stage, and we'll get to that later. Okay, so just in time, an unfriendly meep was spotted in the area. So this is the first time we see these meeps on the dark areas of the map. They are not from your realm. They are, I wouldn't call them enemies, but they are unfriendly at the moment, and you need to work through that relationship with them to try and get them on your side. I did not want to implement a battle system. First off, I think it takes a lot of work to get a decent battle system going, and I would like to try to handle the relationships in a different way, to focus on something positive and working together, saving the turtle's life instead of conquering each other and seeing how much you can win for yourself by eliminating others. Okay, so there's another joiner coming. There is these are those just look at them go, those joiners that became invisible when I paused. I'll just check. There you go, he's back.
I want to rock on to that stone-filled avenue.
Okay, so we are exploring here. We've got some more rock here. We've got high mountains and the river. There's another river down here, so I think we're going to be blocked from this side unless we go around. So I'm going to build some builders yards. This is how we expand our area, our territory. We place the builders yards close to the edge of the territory, and you can then expand your buildable area outwards. Here we've also explored a tribal camp, which is just where these unfriendly meeps live. We'll get to what we do with them a bit later. Let's just expand into this area first. I'm going to increase the game speed a little bit more. Later on there'll be more buildings built, and there'll be more happening. Okay, so we've got trees coming in, we've got rocks coming in, and now we need farms to supply or support a larger population. You can see here that our supply capacity is run empty, so we need to get more supply in. We can fit a farm here in this wide open area, so let's put it there.
Let's get to it.
That takes a bit of building.
Building complete.
Okay, so
Something new we can
your
do.
woodcutters have gained enough experience to unlock their next task. So if we click on a woodcutter now, you'll see we've actually now got plant trees as another task to do. So all of the buildings will have two main tasks: harvest rocks, and then a second task. We can unlock these tasks by performing enough of the first task to unlock the second task. You can see here the progress on that. As they are harvesting rocks, the second task's progress or becomes closer to unlocked, and we'll see what that is in a moment. This one is already performed enough, so we've got the plant trees task there as well. We'll soon see what happens with these other slots. For the builders, we've got construct roads as their second task. So if they've spent enough time building stuff, they gain enough experience to construct the roads. So now we can actually construct roads to the Founder's Hex. You can see there the white indications of where the road will go. The floor plans themselves contain roads on them. So when looking for a road, the search algorithm will consider roads already existing, and also roads that will be built in future that has been ordered as part of the floor plan or as part of actually ordering a road. Okay, so now that we have enough capacity, we've got lots of meeps that is idle. Our next stage come where we can build research hubs. So I'm going to place a research hub here where for now I'm just mainly going to use the builders to research. I'll show you in a moment why. Okay, so here the river is actually blocking us all the way. There's the mountains here, the river's on both sides, so we can't really get to this side. But I'm going to expand towards that area in any case to show you how the rivers work. Okay, let's just finish the research hub.
This building's finished.
There we go. So now we need to tell the other buildings they now have an extra task, which is researching. In World Turtles, you don't have a specific scientist or a librarian or a wizard or something that does all the research. Everybody chips in, and they also do research that are specific to their building types. So I'm going to set these two builders yards to just do research. You'll see now that these icons have appeared. Each building will have building specific research, 3 slots. We are going to research scaffolding for now. This system has been implemented so that I can populate it with items. I specify what's required, what it unlocks in terms of other research items and buildings, either or. You can have both of them, and this will then populate automatically. It looks for the next one in the queue that fits the building and the slot and puts it in there. So on none of the other buildings you can actually research something at the moment, except you also have like a realm-wide research effort. So you'll have a little mini tree for each of the buildings that are building specific, and if you choose to have your research in one of those 3 paths, then you put it there. Or if you want to contribute to the realm-wide research, there'll be a different little tree there that that you can research.
Our understanding has improved.
Lower.
There's something new we can build.
Okay, so we have now completed construction of scaffolding that allows us to build higher buildings, and we are going to have a watchtower that we can utilize to help you control these meeps. I want them to eventually like pilfer and steal your supplies, and if you don't have the watchtowers or other methods implemented to prevent them from doing this, you will lose a lot of supplies in this way. This will later be updated to have different functionality in terms of your relationship with these tribes. You basically you'll have a limited tempo at which you can your population can grow, and if you want to increase that, you'll have to entice more of these tribal members to join you. And the way you'll do that is to actually build a better relationship with them by maybe feeding them, giving them some supplies, and winning them over in many different ways to make them join your realm faster. Okay, so we've also completed our next research, which was bridge building. So these can just go on. You'll see that some of these will be unlocked after these other research items are completed. But for bridge building, you'll actually use it to cross rivers, no surprise. And you'll see there that it can fit there. There's a road that can lead to it.
If you say so.
I'm going to order the bridge. And you'll see if I try to build something on the other side, they'll have currently the road will have to go all the way around this lake area, which is a waste of time to walk all that way to do stuff and to transport materials. So we're going to build the bridge and then see how we can then build on that side using that as a road extension. Okay, so I'm going to let the builders stop researching for now, and I'm going to build a leisure hub for them. This is the other part of the last part of the 4 tasks that we have. These are still going to research a bit more. So these 4 tasks all have to run as they do the tasks. They gain experience in each of the tasks, and you'll see here in the frame that it completes. It runs full as the task tasks are performed. So this one is full green. They have all the experience they need, and they have all the experience they need in this. So anything else is wasted until you actually upgrade the unit. They can't learn any more building experience in their current upgrade level. So we're going to complete this road, and let's build another stonemason's cabin on this side. We can also, let's build some research hubs and leisure hubs on this side, so that these buildings can also start gaining experience. I'm going to put the farmer all the way up to 50-50. Later on this will have to be I have to have some percentage in there, which will change depend on your efficiency, but for now let's just put everything into research and leisure so that we can just get all the tasks experience levels up. Yeah, so lookout tower also, this is locked for now, but there will be different actions and decisions you can make on these icons. So not all the buildings have meeps allocated to them. For example, the lookout tower doesn't have meeps, the founder's hex and so on, the bridges of course. So you don't necessarily need people to man each of the buildings. Okay, so these guys need to build roads and have some leisure. I'm going to put another farm here to give them something to do to build up their experience. There's a question, are you planning to include a campaign of scenarios? Yes, I definitely want to do that. I have smaller little maps that you need to play to firstly learn how to play the game step by step, and secondly just try and weave a story in there and make it so you actually progress. You feel more of a progression from starting out until you eventually save the turtle. Speaking about saving the turtle, we are going to get there today, and to do that let's start planning ahead. In the meantime, I'm going to expand this way so that we can get to around here with just builders yards, expanding our territory. Okay, so these guys will still build and gain experience, and we'll check in on them later. Okay, so there's a leisure hub now here, and there's also a research hub under construction. Let's have some more so everybody can gain experience. Okay, these guys are actually needed to construct. We've taken away all the construction tasks, so they would not go there, but okay, some of them are on the way now. So this will be completed, and in a while we'll be able to upgrade these buildings. So you see we've made some progress with the research. We need this one to build our catapult, which is where we'll end off the stream. But we also now have research that we can that are specific to the woodcutter's cabin. The specific research items are not all really important now, because I haven't built up the entire research tree yet. But the important thing is that this system is already in place, so it will populate wherever it needs to if once I populate all the research items. Okay, so these guys are also working. We can build a road over the bridge, so to connect them with the rest of the realm as well. Okay, so these guys are gaining experience. I'm going to increase the game speed a bit more. This is full, something like this, to get these all the way up. Okay, these guys. Okay, so we need more roads built, and we need some research and a lot of leisure to get these guys up to upgrade level. Here we can also get them to gain research experience in these two tasks, and I'm gonna construct some more builders to speed up construction. Okay, so this farm is also online now, and I'm actually gonna try and get some experience on the other tasks they're going as well. We really need some more roads somewhere, so I'm gonna build something far away.
Let's get to it then.
Another watchtower or lookout tower. I think I need these builders to construct here before they loaf again further. Okay, so these should get going now. They are the builders coming in. So you can see here if you set your task priorities and you, let's say, have building at 0%, they will not actually go and build the ordered buildings, because they've been ordered to not build. Now, as soon as I set those percentages back to at least have something there, they will head that way and do that job for a certain part of the time. These guys are probably too far away from up here to build anything there. They won't walk that far. They've got a range, but we can use them. Okay, they're building roads, nice, and they'll do the other. Yeah, they'll then roads are done, so I can focus on these two now. We'll soon be in a position where we can upgrade quite a few of the buildings. This guy is done, and I'm going to build another builder's yard to extend this way a bit more for later. Okay, so let's build more roads. We need experience in roads. Okay, so you can go back to this. Okay, so let's have a look at the size of the map. This is a standard map that I have. There's smaller maps and there's also a huge map. But on this map you can see that you can already build a sizable realm and lots of buildings and lots of units, and you can have some more AI players on this map. A huge map will be quite a bit larger, probably about this size, if I have to just guess by the mouse cursor. What is the most fun about making the game? I think for me it was just, I've always had these ideas of how things can work in a game. I've actually built like board games like 15 years ago where I cut out the pieces out of cardboard and had a whole working board game that basically me and a few friends played, and that's it. And even World Turtles, I don't think it's a secret that I am a fan of Terry Pratchett, and something like 10 years ago I actually built just an Excel based little game that was based on Discworld characters and characters and places and so on. But of course I'm not allowed to make that. I'm not allowed to build actually a Discworld game, so I had to take what I can, or take what I could, which is the world on the back of the turtle, and there's no problem with that because that's actually a myth that you'll find in many ancient societies and cultures, and that's actually where Terry Pratchett got the idea from. So I had to change some of the most of the specifics that were Discworld based into something else, but the mechanics and how things influence each other was largely, or a large part of that was already designed. And to see how Unity and the other software add-ons and packages makes it actually viable for just someone with an interest in things like this to actually bring that graphicless Excel based little spreadsheet that they built 10 years ago into a visual representation. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's actually viable. I've never in the past felt that I could make something like this because I was not aware of programs like Unity existing. And for me the most fun is to actually get that vision, that game in your head down into something playable that runs at 60 frames per second, even when there's a few dozen buildings and 100 or 200 meeps running around on a decent system. And actually thinking of it as a game, it's really a game now, and it's not just something I doodled around with in Excel. So we've got a few buildings that are ready to be upgraded. In the demo it doesn't have an impact or an effect yet, but the mechanic is already in place that you can actually upgrade your buildings. I'm going to upgrade these, and then the builders should get going. Let's just tell them to actually spend time on that. So the builders will then upgrade these buildings. Something has happened here where they are not realizing that this research hub is completed, so they're still waiting there trying to build something. So some of my builders are stuck here. I'll just have to check why this happens. It usually happens only on high speed, so I played on three times speed now for a while. So there's something that happens in the threading where two of the threads probably collide or fight on some of the data systems, which causes some of the tasks to not be recognized as completed. Nevertheless, let's see if I was planning on putting my catapult here, but I don't think I think it's these builders that are stuck. So let's just move it. Let's do it here. Oh, I still need to research a bit. So I've got 11 out of 12. You can see there in the tooltip, 11 out of 12 finished. If I get one of these guys to research a bit, I'll be able to build the catapult. Okay.
Something new we can build.
So I'm gonna build the catapult just here for now. You'll basically need to get to the edge, close to the edge around here, and place it there. You'll see in a moment. So let's order it and get our builders to. Oops, that's not a builder. Get our builders to focus on building only. So they should come around here in a while. Let them just finish with their leisure. Okay, so do I enjoy live streaming? That's something I haven't done that in the past. I've made some videos, but the nice thing about that is that, let's upgrade this as well, is that you can plan it, you can basically record it ahead of time and you can fix your mistakes and so on. So live streaming takes a bit of practice, especially since English is not my first language, so sometimes you struggle to get to some of the words and exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it. But I mean, I like sharing the game with interested people, and of course it's part of the whole process of marketing the game and making sure that people know about it. Okay, so these.
Time for an upgrade.
So now it's just upgrades wherever you go. Okay, so I want to see where these builders are and whether they are going to construct the catapult for me soon. They are probably on their way there. So they had probably some errands here. They first needed to perform all of these upgrades to the buildings. Okay, so you can see on the upgrades, your buildings get a second story. What happens later? There's also now 2 windmills here, and later one of these windmills will basically get as high as the lookout tower. Okay, these guys have started on the catapult. It will take them quite a while because the catapult is actually a very large thing. It's as large as the floor plan is as large as the farm and the founder's hex. Let's do some more upgrades. Okay, so here you can see there's some more research items becoming available as you've researched these. As you run through the research trees of all the buildings. These buildings have just been set to the realm by the research because they have no other items available at the moment. Okay, so at least we've got 4 people working now here, so it'll speed up a bit. Yeah, also the buildings have just get the second story, and you'll see that the storage areas are also now, the one is also a full storage area, and these also get expanded on the second time you upgrade. So as soon as these tasks experience run full again, you can upgrade again to the next level, and eventually when you have lots of buildings going, you'll have these this quick way to get to the buildings and make sure that they are upgraded to the level that you want them to, and you can jump around to get to the exact ones that you think needs your attention. You'll also see on the UI for the buildings, there's a green frame around this to indicate that it needs attention, and this one is ready to upgrade. So as soon as you upgrade it, that green that the green frame and the indicator disappears. Okay, let's see how this is going. Almost there. So this is quite a huge catapult, and the reason for that is that it's not for battle. It is for saving the turtle and eventually almost like steering the turtle into the direction that you want it to go. So I will have things in space that you either need to avoid or need to get closer to. For example, you could have to steer the turtle towards rain to get rain. You'll see that these the lakes dry up when it doesn't rain, and they get full again as soon as the rain comes. And that's one of the things I want to build in, is that you can actually, that it can be a task to steer your turtle towards rain and maybe away from hazardous areas in space. Okay, so this is almost done. There we go. And now with the catapult, you can let's give ourselves a little bit of this view. Okay, so you can see now that this will allow you to fling stuff into space, and with simulating gravity, it will actually return to the center of mass of the turtle. And if you do that from certain points on the map, you'll be able to get the food all the way around back to the turtle. And that you can firstly use this to feed the turtle, and secondly, it will be a way of steering the turtle in space towards places where you need it to go. So later on there will be stuff happening in space. There will probably have to be a second map where you see what goes on in space and where you want to go and where you don't want to go. But that's all coming later. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the catapult for now.
Our knowledge and hence ability is increased.
Let's just go back to this view. Another research completed. Okay, so we've done, on the improvement side, there will be a building called the Alchemist, which is kind of like a mix between a scientist and a blacksmith, which handles the metal parts of the game. So you're gonna get iron and alloys and so on. And then there will be a tinkerer that supply you with new tools, that improves your tools, gives you new options as you research and as you develop. Basically build your gadgets for you and give you ways of building more interesting things and more useful things to eventually... Oh, here's the food of the catapult. It actually works with real physics, so it's gone all the way around here. Gravity pulled it back, and it probably came in from somewhere here and found its way in this little indentation there in the terrain. It's just a placeholder to show what I want to do with the catapult. So yeah, there's going to be some mechanics around that where you need to aim and set the force of the catapult and so on to get it happening just right, both in terms of the size of your map and where exactly you've placed your catapults. Okay, yeah, we've done everything. We've done all three there. There's going to be some more research buildings. One will be linked to the water, like a fishery or a fishmonger, and also there will be some tasks that you can actually perform in the water when it recedes, to help your efficiency when the water gets back. Okay, in here you'll have dwellings, so later on you'll get more as you progress, your meeps are not going to necessarily work in the same buildings that they stay, so you'll have larger centers where more meeps work, and they will need specific homes or to stay in, and this will be where you build dwellings for them. And then these two locked hexes will be for your higher tier buildings, where you start getting into services and luxuries and so on, instead of just harvesting resources, where you start progressing into the next tier. And that will also then increase your influence with the other meeps, the other tribes on the map. And this is where you can start growing your population faster, and also getting the planet or the world to work together towards certain goals that will improve the turtles' situation and your own situation in the larger space area around you. Okay, so I have shown everything in the demo up to now. I have some more ideas that I'm ready to implement, and there's some things that I still need to think about. But as these ideas come, I try to implement them as fast as I can, as I get time to work on this. And not everything is polished yet. I've tried to polish as I go along, and not just add new stuff, and also not just polish but add some new stuff, so that I always keep going forward and getting somewhere. And of course that's why you find things like this happening, that hasn't been resolved completely yet, where it's actually built, they already use it, but these builders are still thinking that there's something to be done, so they're not leaving the building site yet. But I'll figure out why this happens, and I'll fix that as I go along. It shouldn't happen on slower speeds in any case. Something like that very rarely happens. You'll actually see that these builders have now decided they can reach this builder's yard, and they are done with all these upgrades, and they're going to build there. Okay, are there any more questions? Something specific that I haven't maybe touched on that you are wondering about? I can maybe show you these options. You've got all kinds of different options that you can set here. How many terraces you want drawn per slope. The variability, you can set how much you want, how little you want, elevation difference, which can make everything look a lot higher or lower than what we've been playing on now. You can set your scroll speed, message fading time, minimap sizes, so you can, if you would like to see more of the screen, or if you've need to see more of the UI, you can set all of these things as well. Your minimap can either show your entire explored map, or only where you've got buildings. And later on I'll also add a lot more functionality in here, where you can zoom in and drag it around and so on. And you've got an orthographic mode and a map grid that you can display. So if you like playing in this mode, where basically the perspective of the camera is taken away, so that things far away look just as big as things close by, then you can play like this. A lot of the old games were done this way. So you have the option of playing like this if you want. And then you can see all the randomness has been taken out now, and you've got a lot more steps on each elevation level. And now you don't even have any terraces, so if you would like to play this way, that's also fine. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I think we can end the stream. Thanks for joining again, and on the next stream, hopefully something like this doesn't happen again, so that my stream actually shows up on the next fest broadcasting now schedule. I have sent an email out to Steam to try and figure out what happened there, but for some reason the event was just changed to a normal broadcast instead of a Steam as a Next Fest live event. But anyway, okay, and thanks for joining, thanks for being with me, and I'll see you in a few weeks with some more updates. Thanks, bye bye.